Hey guys, Spirit of Halloween here, and welcome to my review of the animated Gravedigger from Spirit Halloween 2011.
Do you not see where you walk? These hallowed grounds are strewn with rotted corpses that lie in shallow graves, waiting to rise at night and haunt this place.
Alright guys, so I have the Gravedigger all set up, as you can see. Now guys, where do I start with this animatronic? You know, this is possibly one of the most unique Spirit Halloween animatronics that they've ever sold. Where do I start with it? Well, I can first start off by saying that this thing is a full life-size animatronic, which means it is about 6 feet tall. Not exactly 6 feet tall, it's only a shade under 6 feet tall, but it's so tall that you can just call it life-size, so that's pretty cool. Another cool thing about this animatronic is that he is completely padded up and down. That's right. Both arms, the shoulders, the midsection, and the legs are padded, which is really cool. You don't see that anymore. Normally they just throw cloth up on an animatronic and then that's the clothing, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so some specs for this animatronic is that he is sound, motion, timer, or foot pad activated. And the timer is pretty cool because, you know, when sound activation or motion activation don't work, you just put it anywhere in the yard and every 1.5 minutes it'll go off, which is really interesting because, like I said, when sound and motion activation just don't work, you kind of need that extra boost up to get your animatronic to go. Now, since this animatronic is older than 2013, it does unfortunately take one of those old style Spirit Halloween foot pad harness things that you just don't really see anymore. Now, I don't really think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a problem. They're very reliable, they're very sturdy, and when you insert them into the base, they go in pretty tightly, and it takes a lot of force to pull it out. I mean, it takes a lot. However, I really don't see this as a big problem. Just pretty much nitpicking, honestly. And no, this animatronic does not take Try Me buttons. It is not Try Me button compatible. And that does kind of suck, and it is a small price to pay for such a cool animatronic. But honestly, I think it's worth it in my book. Okay, so the qualities. The quality on this guy is kind of a mixed bag. There's good and bad parts. The good parts being that the main support poles that hold this guy up are metal, which is very nice. They're not like the plastic ones that snap in the cold. But unfortunately, the connectors are plastic, which really does suck. But besides the poles, the entire upper body and the base is all made of that same plastic that they always use. Which does suck because this animatronic has more pressure put on its parts than all the other animatronics do. Now guys, there is a couple problems I wanted to address with this animatronic. The first one being that this animatronic is very unstable. The fact that his upper body is so heavy and his base is so small and very light, it doesn't really hold him up very well. Even with that 5-pound weight, I still find that I need to put extra weight on him. And the 2 feet in the front, I find also don't really help very much because you can see that he leans forward a lot, and in very heavy wind conditions I can see him falling over and breaking, which doesn't cut it. And another problem I found with this animatronic is that because this animatronic uses latex gloves, they tend to crack. The problem with latex gloves, if you let them sit around for a while, they tend to get really, really hard, and they crack, and they start to split, and they just become really useless. And on the Gravedigger, that does happen after a few years, as you can see. On the lantern hand, it's really bad. It's starting to really tear and crack, and it just doesn't look very good. So you might have to replace the gloves every once in a while, which isn't such a big problem, but some of you might not like it so much. Now, unfortunately, my Gravedigger's arm did snap a few years ago when I was trying to put it back in this box, and this is why I said that his quality should be improved, because there are clearly some parts that need to be made out of metal, such as this arm piece, because the plastic piece just doesn't cut it, because the glove is really heavy and the sleeve adds some drag onto it, and it just is very, very thin, and it's very, very easy to snap. So now I did fix it, as you can see, but watch out for this problem if you guys are going to buy this animatronic, because this might just happen to you. And the last thing I just want to tell you guys about here before we get out of here is the detail. Now the detail on this animatronic is absolutely amazing. Everything from the head all the way down to the pants is absolutely amazing. The fact that they made the shirt look like it was cut up and scraped up, and even that they put dirt on the inside of the yellow shirt to make it look like he was digging a grave just now, is really, really cool. And even little things such as the lantern make this thing look really cool. And that is a very bright lantern. It lights up almost the entire Gravedigger prop, and even a little bit past the area around him. So that is a very nice touch to the prop. And just the whole thing is just a great piece. And it's just really, really cool to look at, and it's just amazing too. Alright, and the last thing I just want to talk about here are my final thoughts. So, I absolutely love the Gravedigger. You know, he is just a very cool prop. His animation is absolutely amazing. The detail on this thing is just absolutely incredible. The amount of work that they put in this thing is crazy. And the fact that he is 6 feet tall and he does what he does is absolutely amazing. And even in the dark time, this thing looks absolutely amazing, as you can see here. He just lights up the whole area and just looks absolutely breathtaking. So honestly, could I recommend this animatronic to you? I would say if you find this on eBay for a very good price, I would say yes. Now, there are a few repercussions that you guys should take action with if you do buy this animatronic. Number one is be very careful with him. He's not an animatronic that you can just toss around. And I don't mean that literally, but he's not an animatronic you can just toss around anywhere, put anywhere, and he'll be fine. He's a very delicate animatronic. Take good care of him. Make sure he works fully. And be very careful with him when you're storing him away for the year. But other than that, guys, I would absolutely recommend him. This guy is an amazing prop, and he'll fit into any haunt theme that you have or that you would like to display him in. Any theme, he'll fit in it. So guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new. And with that said, this has been Spirit of Halloween 9's review of the Gravedigger from Spirit of Halloween 2011.